All right, here we go. Another episode of Legacy Series Chevelles. Roger, let us know where we're at with this one.
So number 6 here, Stuart's getting everything set up, with the fancy headlights, the JW speakers. We got everything kind of packaged in here with the new heat exchanger that we got from PWR.
I gotta cut you off. JW speakers. Let's be clear so we don't throw anyone off.
I don't choose a name. It's a lighting company. I don't get it. They kick ass. They work really good. It's JW speaker.
So the headlights that we're using are from JW speaker, but they're headlights. Just to be clear, I wanted to...
And they got all the stuff that makes them look stupid and it ruins the look and all that. But when you have 800 horsepower at night, you can outdrive the headlights real quick. And so these kick ass. We use them in a ton of cars. We've been using a few Holly lights. They seem to be pretty good. I haven't yet heard how they keep up at night, but we've just had amazing results. I don't like the look either as much, but they just work really well. And so JW speaker headlights.
Yeah. And they also make the fog lights for you as well.
They also make the fog lights that we put down in here. We machine these bezels and they hold fog lights. We'll be having more of those on our website here pretty soon. Just gives you lower driving lights, gives you whether you want. So, because when you go with the JW speaker headlights, they have built-in turn signals as well. So you can use that for the turn signals in there and then just make these driving lights if that's what you want to do as well.
All right, since you were messing up the car with aftermarket headlights that don't look original, that's a joke because everyone gets
stating it kindly from the comments.
Yeah, comments, they go wild with the headlights. Let's talk about these bolts.
Those bolts are just there to hold everything in place, and then we'll get quality bumper bolts.
And I know that, but I'm bringing it up because, again, the internet,
we love hex head bolts and diamond plate. So we would love to put hex head bolts and diamond plate anywhere we can.
But the reality is those are all for mock-up, and you don't flush them until the very tail end of the build.
Yes.
Okay.
So
let's keep on going.
We got our cover panel. We got inner fenders all fitted in the car. We figured out this week that when you put the throttle body that's needed for this engine combination on here, it hits this power steering pump. So we've got a new one of these coming that'll raise it up, and then we'll have to make a new air intake for this one because of the larger blower. We've got the power brake unit in here because we decided to not do the Tesla unit for this exact reason, that we had to make our own brackets to go behind here to angle this and get all this to clear these inner fenders at this ride height with this wide a front tire, with all the stuff that seems to fit in this car, then with a manual transmission on top of that.
And so anyone that's watching and like, man, why is it such a tight tolerance between that fender, inner fender well, and that booster? Explain to them why.
Because everything's smashed together to make the car sit low. The things you can't move are the ground and the shape of the car. And as you lower the car and get all that stuff together with a wide front tire that you want to turn with inner fenders that are maximizing all of those dimensions, it gets tight back here.
So these are our inner fenders that are enlarged for a larger circumference tire and wheel to fit with the new stance that's so low.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's just a give and take that happens with every car.
Okay.
So number 6 has got, let's see, interior's all mocked up, center console's in here. One of the gauge clusters is in here. We're getting ready to release some center consoles in a limited basis to figure out how that's going to go. Whether people are going to want automatic or manual transmission bezels, whether they're going to want to make their own. There's quite a lot of options, and we're trying to figure out how to handle that. We're getting ready to machine these gauge clusters. We figured out a few ways to, believe it or not, machine these at 2005 prices that were expensive in 2005.
And this is not plastic.
Not plastic.
It's a big chunk of metal, of aluminum.
Of aluminum. It actually starts out with a 200-pound block of aluminum because it has to go from here to fit everything in, and it's machined on this side and that side. And you can see it's got the bosses to bolt to the different mounts that are in the car, that makes it solid in the car, that bolts to, holds the... You can run any aftermarket gauge that will bolt to a stock cluster. Most people are running Dakota Digital. You can polish the edges. You can polish those things. We're getting ready to change it to where it's a single DIN or double DIN stereo. You'll be able to have a few options to, if you're not going to run a console, you can run power window switches. You'll have a push button start. You'll have a key start if you don't want it on the column. We've got quite a few different ones for.
And this right here is not the factory switches that we're used to. You've upgraded those as well for this.
Yeah, we use the, it's based on the factory switch for the wipers, but it's based on the factory. We use a C10 truck switch, which is just a common, super durable, universal switch package.
Okay.
So we've got the legacy wheel mocked up in here as well. That kind of goes with this car as it's going through production.
All right. Lot of
So
good stuff.
this also has our new vinyl decal on it. That is a vinyl decal as opposed to the textured Cerakote. And so we'll, it looks pretty nice. I don't even think you knew that it was a vinyl decal until I told you. So it's a little tricky to install, but we're getting all that stuff kind of worked out to get it in place. So we'll be taking pre-orders on gauge clusters soon, and we'll be taking pre-orders. We have a few consoles in stock as you look back here. We have a few automatic consoles and a few manual transmission consoles. We're working on getting all that installed. You can see the hinge assembly that's in here. It's got a billet hinge. Everything's installed. Everything's carbon. This 3D printed piece is meant to be covered. Then it fits over there. But we're gonna offer some custom units that go in here for an additional fee. We can design those for you. Based on shifter locations, or you can use the ones we have.
Are these on the website right now?
They will be on the website probably by the time this airs. We just have a limited quantity for sale in the first round, and then we will get a bearing of where we are at on production quantities and things like that to start selling some more. So be ready. They may already be, by the time you get there, they may already be gone.
Okay.
So here's the chassis for number 7.
This just showed up today, fresh.
Showed up today, fresh. Got a freshie from the boys at Roadstershop. This one's just like all the others. I can see that they've made a few changes in their steering arms, the way they bolt on, and made them like a 2-bolt system that bolts onto the side of the spindle. Does that on the front and the rear. See that they have their own spindle uprights now. You can see that this one's coming with a firewall. It's got the wheel tubs, everything else. So we're going to mock up the engine and build the exhaust for this one and get ready to put it on.
I just want to call this out real quick. If you are new to the channel, new to viewing all this stuff, this right here is a collab between us, Ironworks, and Roadstershop. So this is a fast track chassis, IRS, and it has what's called a unibody floor.
Unibody floor. I can pull this off and you can...
I just want to make sure that people are aware. They might find this video first before all the others. And
so you can see the seat brackets that are in there. You can see all that stuff is located to mount the seats. It's got the floorboards. You can see how solid it is. It's 270 pounds right there of fun.
And so to inquire about this, you can inquire through our contact page. You can also see them on our website. They actually are listed in the products page.
Yes. So one of the details is with these is it's a narrower track width than you can purchase on the regular fast track chassis. So you can actually have more dish on the rear wheels than you would be on a standard IRS. But this is how they come as your base model. I think it's $46,000. Ready to rock. T56 or 10-speed automatic, CV axles, no brakes, but it does have a GM Camaro differential, so that is included in the price.
A lot of positives go in this direction. We just shot another video actually discussing a lot more into detail, so that will probably be up maybe after this video, depending on how things go with releasing the videos. But just know that if you have a floor that is got cancer, has issues, it's questionable. Instead of spending all the money on getting the floor fixed on the Chevelle, you can cut the floor out and install this chassis.
Yes, and if you're going to mini tub it and you're putting in a big transmission, and you're doing an aftermarket chassis, you can't, especially if you're paying someone to do it, this is much cheaper.
Yeah.
This probably would save you 10 weeks of labor.
Yeah.
That's what it saves us in the chassis on body cars that we were doing.
Roger, tell us where we at with number 4, right? Number 4.
Number
Legacy
4.
series.
So it's back from paint. As I think you saw last month, we got everything boom matted inside, top to bottom, inside and out, inside the doors, finishing up a few more spots, couple parts and pieces here and there. We're starting to get everything else installed of all the dash bar stuff. There was a few pieces that were in the car when it was at paint that we had to get powder coated. And so we're getting all that. Brandon's getting all those things installed today.
We don't even ask the guys to stop working on the car while we're shooting videos. We just let them go.
We got to keep up with production. Got to keep up with production. So we got all the door seals on it. Doors are latching. LT1 is in it with 10-speed. All that stuff's in there. We decided to use one of the new FN88 Detroit speed rear diffs, but I had to have them custom make it with 33 splines. So there's a few things that were kind of holding us up on the bottom. We've used those a few times and they're nice and quiet in the lower horsepower applications.
We talked about that hole right there for the wiring system. And look, it's right here, right? If you didn't see the last video, just real quickly go over
these holes
that.
are plasma cut into the firewall when we start production on it for the mil spec connectors to go in for all 3 sections, the mil spec connectors and then the wires that can't change in length.
So nicely tucked behind the engine, but you can twist lock them, take them off, and then that whole harness.
Remove that section of the harness and remove the other section of the
clean.
harness.
Very serviceable.
Very serviceable. So this will be a nice, I believe these are like 480 horsepower, LT1, direct injected, just a good, fun cruiser. It's going to have enough horsepower to have some fun. It's going to drive really nice on the road. Cut down a little weight because you don't have supercharger and things like that. And so we've got the carbon fiber inner fender wells that we've gotten painted this week, and just getting everything else together as we're putting the car together.
You got the Forgeline Billet wheels, 3-piece wheels. They're not Steelies. Like
they're not Steelies. These are high-dollar Forgeline wheels, Michelin tires, JRI shocks. This is on a SpeedTech chassis. It's going to be a nice car. I'm really excited to see it with all the trim and the vinyl top trim and everything on the car. That's just good. It's going to give it a really good look. We found some hubcaps on eBay that kind of give it the vibe we wanted, and so we're waiting on those to arrive and just getting everything else together mechanically at this point.
Tunnel's been raised all the way to the back for the driveline and for the transmission.
Exhaust.
And exhaust, and you have the slots for the seats to hook right into the floor.
This is the body on chassis version of the legacy cars that was 1 through 5. And so as we start at number 6, it goes to the unibody cars, basically to you gain some ground clearance and you do some of that, but the main factor is it takes that amount of work out of it to recess the seats and all those things that we have to build by hand.
I mean, we're calling this number 4, but in all reality, this was number 1 because this was the prototype car. It's just that customers all of a sudden popped up and they got jumped. They jumped before this one.
Technically, this was number 1 that started it all, and customers wanted to get there. Were willing to invest in the cars to have their car moved to the front to get that one sooner because they were just excited about the platform.
Yeah, we had someone ask, why is this number 4? And we've already jumped in. We're at number 6 now.
And then Cliff hit us up to build the Ols, which, according to accounting purposes and everything else, was number 5. But that one got done almost a year ago now.
Yeah.
And so this one sat in paint gel for a while, and we just weren't in a hurry to get it done because we were working on other Chevelles, and so this goes back to the number 4 of what it is. We're already up to number 8, getting ready to order a chassis for number 9.
Awesome. And this car is for sale.
This car is for sale. It's an LT1, 10-speed, all the deluxe interior, everything that you've seen in all the other cars. Probably going to set it up with a little bit of a sporty chassis feel to it, and just make it where it's meant to be a fun driving car that's got a cool look that I can't say that you see too many black cherry Chevelles, and I really like it.
And if someone is interested in purchasing the car could be done within probably the first of the year.
Yeah, if it picks up an owner, we can probably have it done by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So this is September 24th, 2025, and we could have this thing for Christmas. So we've got everything together, and we're just putting it together. All right, well, thank you very much for tuning in this month with our updates on the future cars. We've got a number 8 chassis is inbound here in a month or so. It's got the wider track width. It's got a quicker ratio rack in it. Trying a few other upgrades on, or just changes to mess with things as we're getting ready to do number 8 that's sitting outside. And yeah, let us know in the comments what you think, and thanks for watching.